Imagine this. The beginning of a happy life starts the moment that you design that life and start living it. Hear me there. The moment you design your life the way that you envision the perfect life to be, you immediately become happy. And then you grow happier and happier as you realize that vision. Welcome to Build with Rob. It is Rob Dyrdek. You know what it is. I'm just out here trying to push this machine mindset, just trying to get everybody to connect with this philosophy that I have of, designing, automating, and optimizing all paths in pieces of your life is an amazing, amazing way to live an extraordinary, happy, harmonious existence. And really, for me, one thing that I've just been thinking a lot about lately is like, man, if I developed sort of my sort of core vision for the life that I wanted to grow into and become, if I started working on that in 2014, 15, and then really began to realize it and live it in 2016 till today, and then in 2022 really grew into this life. The thing that I've really been thinking about is like, man, like I've been like really happy through the entire process. Right? Like I've been really happy through the entire process. Not like I didn't like set out to like, oh, if I get there, that's going to be what makes me happy. Like finally, if I can achieve all these goals, that's what's going to get me happy. I realized like, man, just taking the time to actually assess what actually was happiness to me and what actually did I want out of life, which in itself is a really, really big process, right? Like you don't, again, like you have to define, only you know what will make you happy. Right. And then you've got to look at all aspects of your life, and then you've got to define, in these aspects of my life, what would be happy to me? What would be fulfilling to me? What would make me grateful and filled with gratitude, and all these different sort of ways that happiness is defined? Like how much money would I have, and what would I do to be healthy, and where would I spend my time with my family and friends, and what type of job and work would I have? Like all these different sort of things, you have to ultimately design them to determine like what they are for you, what they mean to you, and how collectively when they all integrate together, how do they make you happy? And I know that that's easier said than done. But the thing about it that's counterintuitive, right? Because it's just backwards in its nature. It's backwards in its nature, and if I didn't live through it, I probably wouldn't have prescribed to it or hearing somebody say it the way that I'm saying it. But the truth is, when you finally get the clarity and then design the life that you want to live as it relates to what would be ideal? What would I do on on a daily basis that would make me as healthy as possible? What would I eat? How often would I gym? Would I meditate? Would I work out? Would I, how long would I sleep? All these different sort of things that you can begin to start adding in your plans of what would make you feel healthy. How much money would I have saved? Like, where would I invest it? What would it be earning? Like these different things that you can begin to unravel, that once you design and have clarity on them, like you get excited. That's the thing that I think that people underestimate, is that when you seek clarity and get clarity, especially in something as important as your life, and you can begin to put a vision and create a plan for these core pieces of your life that if you accomplish them, that they're going to allow you to become the ideal version of yourself and make you happy as you see it, the moment you set off on the journey of just like slightly incrementally progressing towards that, you're going to be happy. It's going to start giving you that feeling of like, man, I made change, I've gotten clear, and now I'm making progress towards it. That's actually when happiness starts. Like, and happiness isn't like, binary. It's not you're either happy or you're unhappy, right? There's varying degrees of happy, and you will continue as you evolve and grow and optimize your life to get happier and happier and happier, even from what you initially saw as baseline happiness, in the sense of what's possible, because happiness has this incredible range to it that is 100% specific to you, but it is something that grows over time, and that you're committed to getting better at achieving and living for the rest of your life. It is the true infinite game, where you are not just simply trying to get to happy. You are trying to not only grow into being happy, but continually evolving and changing as the world is evolving and changing around you, to make sure that you continually to stay happy, because you will continue to change. And if you get better and better at understanding that aspect of always having a clear direction in all aspects of your life, will be the cornerstone of your happiness. That intention of getting up each day and believing that what you're doing is serving, your overall goal, which is to have an amazing life. Everybody's goal, as I like to say, is that high quality, harmonious existence. And as long as you feel that intention and you have clarity and you're growing towards that ideal version of yourself, like, you're going to be happy. Like, believe it or not, happiness starts with the clear plan and just setting off on the journey. It's not like you got to come up with the plan and then all of a sudden, like, you get worn out because now you just don't believe you're ever going to be happy. If you spend the right amount of time designing the pathway, it's going to give you energy and get you so excited in the first place, and look, even for me, it was like, man, I had to do so many like different things in the early days as it related to like personal assessment. Right. And really finding out, really asking myself the questions over and over again of like, what is it that I actually want to do? Where would I spend all my time, or where would I like to spend my time, on the things that I enjoy versus the things that I don't enjoy. Like, because a lot of times even it's not even about like, what do you love or hate to do, as much as like, what type of energy does it take from you versus give energy to you? And a lot of times, like, if you love a specific activity, like, I enjoy like meditating. Like, I enjoy sort of all the stuff that I do as it relates to my, physical health, but I wouldn't want to do it for 10 hours a day. Like, it would begin to like, take energy from me if that's all I did all day. Right. So it's like, it's your sort of core harmony and your balance by design is where the energy will be the highest, but ultimately is sort of the foundation of the plan that you need to create for how your life is going to unfold as you see it, and again, it takes a ton of assessment, like I really had to take, personality tests, and, I took this insights test that really dove deep into like understanding more about my personality and all different aspects of who I am. And, and I speak about this all the time. And to me, I don't, if it's tests, to where you get some insight. If it's feedback from just continually asking yourself, it's reflecting on all your experiences and looking at like, okay, up to my life to this point, if I could spend this much time with my family, this much time with my friends, this much time on my hobbies, and this much time on work, and if I could have this much money saved and it was invested here, and if I could spend this much time on taking care of myself and eat this way, like all of that together is your own personal map. But however you end up designing that, if you like design it and then begin to live it, man, happiness starts. Happiness starts right there. It does not, you don't end up happy. Like the moment you get clear, create intention, design a plan, and then start living that plan and make progress towards achieving that plan, you will be happy. Especially if you break your life up into those sort of 4 sections and design a plan around each of those. And grow your life together, you will immediately feel joy, and you will be on your journey to success starting at happy, and it's really possible. It seems like, well, yeah, maybe, but I don't know what I want to do with I hate my job and I'm not sure if I like that. I'm struggling over here with this. I'm not sure. Like that exact, like sort of complaint or sort of assessment of like, oh, I don't think I can do that because I don't have time because of this. I don't have time because of that. Like all those reasons that are why you can't design a clear life plan or live with intention is the assessment that you would have to do to begin the process of like, okay, how do I get out of this? Right. And when they're bigger and heavier, like the job that you have, the career path that you've taken, and maybe it requires, going a completely different direction and now getting, going back to school, getting a job for less salary so that you get with more potential of growth, whatever it may ultimately be, it'll be part of the plan that you've set into motion that creates the energy and the hope that one day you now believe it's going to lead you towards the ideal version of yourself and the ideal version of the life that you hope to have for yourself, right? And again, that makes you happy. That will make you happy. That will make you happy. It doesn't matter what your circumstance is. The moment you get clear and assess it and put a plan in place and begin to live it, you begin to feel the joy and the happiness. And when you grow into it and begin to achieve it, man, you feel a more vibrant and much more rich version of what it means to feel happy. Right. And as you begin to achieve it, and God forbid you begin to organize sort of these different aspects of your life, and now your time management has now allowed you to be more healthy and more disciplined, and your financial goals make more sense to you. So now you're spending less money and putting more into your savings because it's all part of a plan, and you've committed more structure to spending time with the family and friends or doing your hobbies. When you just tie that all together a little bit and start making progress, like there's the fulfillment, the belief that you're actually going to do it, all of these different things like that are part of the force that will motivate you to continue to push forward till you achieve those goals that ultimately leads you to your ideal life. But you'll be doing it from this happy state. And I didn't understand that, because it was like, as I was like, like developing it from the beginning, you got to understand, it was like, what do I even want money for? I looked at myself of like, I would just keep working so hard, make another company, do another show, have a cartoon, start another, it's like, just keep working. Because eventually, if you just work really hard, all the money will come into you. Then the money's when you will give you the answer. Then you'll be able to be more balanced and then find happiness. And I didn't even know what I wanted money for. I just thought I'd try to make a lot of it and then figure it out. I wasn't even sure what I liked about like doing companies, because some I really enjoyed, some I didn't like at all. Right. There was, I had multiple television shows, and it's like, do I even want to shoot television? Why am I even shooting television? It's these type of struggles is when you don't have harmony in the design of your entire life. So it's almost impossible to find joy, because you're just hunting pockets of happiness in through the highs and lows of constantly unsure of what direction you're headed in, and only when I stopped and assessed all of that and began to look at money of like, okay, really for me, money is sort of a way of life. And what puts pressure on me with money is like, I want that way of life to be sustainable, but I have this quality of life that I expect for myself that I've got to go out and achieve in order to be fulfilled. And so, okay, now I understood what money meant to me, like really understanding like, okay, what is TV? Like TV is this outlet and this opportunity that allows me to generate income to serve my passion, which was ultimately creating and building businesses. All right, what do I love about businesses? Well, man, I really love like creating and building them. But if I do too many of them, I get overwhelmed unless I treat them in a way where I don't operate them and make sure that I have great partners that we partner with in order to grow and operate the businesses in the day-to-day. I didn't understand any of this stuff until I started asking myself all of this stuff, and on the health side, it's like, what is it about like my body and my health that isn't working, like, and why am I not more consistent at it? Why do I continually go from fat to flat? All of these different aspects, the timing, spending the right time with my wife and family, and being able to be balanced in all of that. I had to assess all of that and design it, and then lock into it and be like, okay, well, wow. Okay. And it's easy, costs you nothing. And it's not like you got to write down some super detailed document, but you do got to apply some level of discipline. You do got to like look at your calendar and block your calendar off and be like, okay, here's where I'm going to begin to design my days and weeks in order to spend the time that I think would be the best way for me to be the happiest. But again, you assess all these different things, you begin to apply them and build them with intention. And I'm telling you, you will immediately be happy. You will immediately be happy, because in my case, I was living, look, in 2015, I was essentially just, getting pulled in a million different directions and was not clear on like what and how I was going to lead the life that I knew I was meant to live, because I hadn't taken the time to assess myself in order to design that life. And when I finally designed it, and it took a long time. It's not something that you do overnight. It's trial and error and time for you to begin to kind of understand what it is you actually really want. And then when you finally put that together, which I did in 2016 and really began to live it, man, it was an extraordinary time. I just remember how like I finally felt light. I finally felt light, and everything that I was doing in my whole life now made sense. And that right there is fundamental to what it even means to be happy. You know what I mean? Where everything that you're doing in your life begins to make sense. It takes so much pressure off of you. It motivates you and it pushes you towards realizing, the very best version of yourself, which is ultimately what all of us are seeking to do as we grow and evolve into life. But, I really just, really wanted to give that point to people that are like hesitant of like going through the process of just trying to put down in a document, where they'd like to spend their time, what they would like to do to be healthy, like how they would like to be in their relationships, like how they could improve or optimize or better themselves in their work or their company, and ultimately what are your financial goals, and how do they all interconnect and create your life. It seems a little overwhelming, and it seems like, I'm going to write it down. I'm not even going to do any of it. And you don't have to like make it incredibly detailed. You just have to make it. You got to start somewhere. And the moment you start, if you just take, like a few hours one weekend and just map out a handful of things that you wish were the way of your life. Right? Like, if you just took, 1 hour and you laid out your financial goals, your health goals, your life goals, and your career goals, and just put 5 key things you hope to accomplish in the next year, 5 years, whatever, as far as you can see. If you just write all of that down and just take 1 hour to do that, like I promise you, it is going to give you this incredible energy of the possibilities of the brighter, better future that you potentially can create for yourself. It's going to create that energy. And then if you now take that document and apply action to it and actually begin that process in the very beginning, you are going to be happy. It is going to fill you with joy. And if you stay consistent and committed, then you are going to grow happier and happier and happier till the end of time, because you will learn eventually that you are actually in a perpetually evolving state into your limitless potential. And you will continue to reach your potential for the rest of your life. Like that's really, truly what can happen if you just dedicate a little bit of time and energy to putting some intention to how your life actually works together and how you can evolve it and make it better. Because that's what I've done. I'm living it. I promise you. It's been, not to say that there hasn't been, highs and lows and chaos and different times where, you question the strategy and the plan as you're struggling through the elevation or the evolution of your life design and your plan. And it's certainly much different than what I could have ever even envisioned 6 years ago when I finally launched it into what it is today. But man, it is this beautiful sort of perpetual state of happiness that I've evolved into, that I know everybody can eventually get to, but it starts with designing that plan. And I promise you that your success and happiness will truly begin at the very, very start once you create that plan. All right, there you have it. That's what I got for you today. I hope that resonates with everybody. I really appreciate all you that listen to the show. Again, I'm just out here living a harmonious, high quality existence, and ultimately just trying to share it with others. If they could just take a nugget and apply it to their own lives to continue to make their life better, happier, and in turn make those around them better and happier. And together, we're all better and happier. So again, wherever you listen to the show, like and subscribe. We appreciate that. Everything that we're doing down here at the Dyrdek Machine is at dyrdekmachine.com. And like I say, you know, to even create that life design, man, you got to have a vision. You know, in order to feel that joy from the beginning, you got to create the plan, and then you got to take that action so that you can build that success in a happy way. Until next time, see it, believe it, do it.